What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, where we bring you the most amazing stories from all around the world. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, so that you won't miss any of our awesome videos. Today we have a really weird one for you guys, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. A man who eats bottle caps was once caught by his wife eating a jar lid off the floor. This man had an addiction to eating bottle caps, and he would do anything to satisfy his cravings. He had such a strong addiction that he would even eat plastic bottle caps. However, he never told anyone about his unusual eating habit until his wife saw him eating a pickle jar lid. Then she told his doctor and they all tried to help him overcome it. But how did this man's weird addiction start? What was his life like before his addiction? And how does he live now? Let's find out. Michael's day started out like any other. He woke up next to his beautiful wife, ate some cereal, and got ready for work. Little did she know that Michael had an addiction to eating bottle caps, and that he would do anything to satisfy his cravings. He loved eating the crunchier ones the best and would happily munch on them throughout the day. If there were no bottle caps available, he would eat plastic ones instead, but these didn't taste as good as the real deal. Still, he loved the crunch of plastic just as much. Michael's addiction to eating bottle caps was getting worse and worse. He couldn't stop thinking about them, and it was driving him crazy. He knew he needed help, but he was too embarrassed to ask for it. Michael had been struggling with this problem for years, and it was starting to take a toll on him. He couldn't focus on his work and he was constantly tired. He knew he needed to get help, but he was too ashamed to tell anyone. But when his wife saw him eating a jar lid off the floor, she knew something was wrong. She had always been supportive and loving towards Michael, but she was starting to get worried about him. She knew she had to do something to help him, so she took matters into her own hands. After talking to Michael's doctor, they came up with a plan to help him overcome his addiction. The doctor prescribed him medication to help him focus and be more present in everyday life. It also helped him with his anxiety and depression, which made it easier for him to open up to his wife about his addiction. Michael was hesitant at first, but with the help of his wife and doctor, he was able to confess his weird addiction to eating bottle caps. They were all shocked and confused, but they knew they had to help him. After confessing his addiction, Michael was determined to overcome it. He started seeing a therapist and attending support groups. With the help of his loved ones, Michael was finally able to get the help he needed to stop eating bottle caps. It wasn't easy, but he was determined to make it work. His wife was so proud of him for being brave enough to seek help, and she was determined to support him through his recovery. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but she was confident that with their love and support, Michael could make it. The road to recovery was long and hard, but Michael never gave up. He learned to replace his bottle cap addiction with healthier habits and coping mechanisms. He started going on long walks with his wife, which helped him clear his head and relax. He also started practicing yoga and meditation, which helped him become more mindful and present in everyday life. As time went on, Michael's cravings for bottle caps became less frequent, and he was able to focus on the positive things in his life. He was grateful for his wife's love and support, and knew that he wouldn't have been able to overcome his addiction without her. Now, Michael lives a happy and fulfilling life with his wife. He has a successful career and is an active member of his community. He uses his experience to help others who are struggling with similar addictions, and loves sharing his story to raise awareness. Michael is a true inspiration to all who know him. He shows that with determination and the right support system, anyone can overcome any addiction. His story is a reminder that no matter how difficult a situation may seem, hope is not lost and recovery is always possible. Michael's story is an inspiring example to us all. No matter what addiction we may be facing, it is possible to overcome it with the right help and support. His journey reminds us that no one should feel ashamed or embarrassed to seek help, and that recovery is a journey worth taking. It is a testament to the power of love, support, and acceptance that Michael was able to turn his life around and live a happy and fulfilling life. His story gives us hope that no matter how difficult a situation may seem, it is possible to find the strength within ourselves to make positive changes and achieve lasting recovery. Have you ever heard of someone eating bottle caps? Let us know in the comments below. And since you made it this far, we'll share another amazing story for you to enjoy. John was born and raised in a small town in the middle of nowhere. He lived a simple life with his parents and two younger siblings. From a young age, John had always felt different from the people around him. He didn't fit in, and he struggled to connect with his peers. When he was 12, John discovered he had a strange addiction. He had a strong craving for eating dirt and sand. At first, it was just an occasional thing, but soon it became an obsession. John would spend hours each day eating dirt and sand, and he would often be found with his mouth stained brown from the dirt. As you can imagine, John was teased mercilessly by his classmates. They called him names like Dirty John and Sand Boy, and they made fun of him behind his back. This made John feel even more isolated and different from everyone else. He tried to hide his addiction, but it was impossible. His parents were concerned about him, and they took him to see a doctor to find out what was causing his strange behavior. The doctor ran tests and asked questions, but he couldn't find a medical explanation for John's addiction. He suggested that John might be suffering from a psychological condition, but he wasn't sure what it was. As John grew older, his addiction only got worse. He started stealing dirt and sand from construction sites, and he would eat it straight from the bags. He also developed a taste for chalk, and he would often be seen eating pieces of chalk like they were candy. People in his town started to become aware of his addiction, and some even began to take advantage of him. There were rumors that some adults were giving John money in exchange for him eating certain substances. John was too ashamed to talk to his family about what was happening, and his parents were too afraid to investigate. They didn't want to believe that anyone would take advantage of their son. One day, John met a woman who changed everything. Her name was Sarah, and she was a psychologist who specialized in helping people with eating disorders. Sarah was different from other professionals John had met. She didn't judge him or try to make him feel ashamed for his addiction. Instead, she listened to him and tried to understand what was causing his strange behavior. Sarah worked with John to help him understand his addiction and the underlying issues that were causing it. She taught him coping mechanisms to deal with the cravings and helped him develop a support system. It was a long and difficult process, but eventually John was able to control his addiction. He learned that his eating disorder was a way of coping with the emotional pain he had been feeling for years. With Sarah's help, John was able to find healthier ways to express himself and connect with others. Today, John lives a happy and fulfilling life. He has a job that he loves, a supportive group of friends, and a strong relationship with his family. He still struggles with his addiction from time to time, but he knows how to manage it. John is a prime example of how people with eating disorders can recover and lead happy and healthy lives. His story is an inspiration to others who are struggling with similar addictions, and a reminder that no matter how difficult the journey may be, recovery is always possible. What's your opinion about these two weird addictions? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed watching, please hit that like button and make sure to subscribe, so you don't want to miss out on future content. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you later. Have you ever heard of someone being addicted to eating dirt? Well, today we are going to be discussing one person's strange addiction to eating dirt, so stay tuned for more information. Hello, I'm here. This is a channel where we discuss psychology and mental health. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. Today we're discussing a strange addiction that has never been seen before. A woman's addiction to eating dirt has doctors baffled. This 22-year-old woman came to the doctor because she was experiencing stomach pain. She had no idea that she would be giving the medical staff a hard time. At first, the woman said that her stomach pain was getting worse every day. It started when she was only 13 years old, but it became almost unbearable when she turned 21. And now at 22, it was just too much for her to handle. And so she finally went to see a guy. The woman had an endoscopy and a colonoscopy, which showed that there were no abnormalities. The doctors were confused as to what could be causing this intense pain. The woman told the doctors that she ate a lot of processed meat, such as salami and sausages, but the doctors found no evidence of that. They did, however, find that she had an extremely high amount of undigested dirt in her stomach. Doctors extracted over 5 grams of dirt from her stomach. She said that she'd always liked eating dirt, even as a child. She would eat dirt from the ground and even from walls. At first it was just a little dirt here and there, but as time went on, she began craving it more and more. Eventually, she was eating up to 5 grams of dirt every single day. She said that she loved the crunch that the dirt made when she ate it. She also said that the taste reminded her of sweet dark chocolate with some salty undertones. Since she was young, she had been grinding the dirt into a powder before eating it. She would buy bags of soil from a local store for $8 a bag. That was the dirt that she ate. When she ran out of money, she would get the dirt from the walls and the floor of her house. She would also grind up the dirt into a powder and mix it with water. She drank the water to get her fix. After learning all of this, the doctors came to the conclusion that the woman was addicted to eating dirt. She wasn't getting any nutritional value from the dirt, yet she was eating half a kilo of it every year. This led to a bowel obstruction, and she needed emergency surgery. The doctors had no choice but to remove the obstruction so that she could survive. After the surgery, they spoke with her again and asked her if she knew how dangerous her addiction was. She responded by saying, "I know that eating this way is not healthy, but I can't stop." Unfortunately, the doctors couldn't help her because they didn't fully understand her condition. They believed that she knew that eating dirt would eventually kill her. After her second surgery, the woman was back on her feet and returned home. She continued to eat dirt despite knowing the consequences. Just a few months after the surgery, she got pregnant. The woman gave birth to a baby boy who was born extremely premature. The baby didn't make it. Soon after, the woman died from her addiction. Researchers were able to study her case, and they found that she had an extremely rare disorder called pica. This disorder causes people to crave non-nutritional substances. Some people with this disorder crave ice, others crave paper, and some even crave paint. However, this is the first known case of someone being addicted to eating dirt. Researchers believe that the woman may have had a genetic mutation that caused her to develop this addiction. Researchers are still trying to figure out why certain people develop these strange cravings, so this disorder is very uncommon. In fact, researchers have only studied 193 cases of this disorder. Of those 193 cases, 144 of them involved women. Researchers believe that this disorder may be passed down through genes. However, they're not sure exactly which gene is responsible, or what that gene does. Researchers say that people with this disorder often have low levels of a certain nutrient in their blood. However, the woman in this case had normal levels of all nutrients in her body. As I mentioned earlier, this is the first known case of someone being addicted to eating dirt. Researchers believe that this woman may have developed the addiction because of environmental factors. Maybe something in her childhood caused her to develop this disorder. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you learned something new. If you did, make sure to leave a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe and share this video with a friend. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.